I feel very privileged, ma'am, to have you as our speaker for today's session.
Same.
Jinal Shah, ma'am, has been very kind enough to share with us some of her very valuable experience. So, ma'am, I'm your biggest fan.
Oh,
Yes, and
thank
I
you.
welcome you on behalf of USF and my Shalini friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Huge
much.
round of applause, girls.
Thank you. Yeah, I can see the remote icon. So should I start?
Yeah, ma'am, I'll introduce you. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We have very eminent personality with us, Jinal Shah, ma'am. Uh, they have started the career of marketing at Godrej Group, and now she is an on-demand marketer. Ma'am is also the marketing consultant. She consults for brands, startups, and small and mid-sized enterprises and multinational companies on marketing strategies, social media and content marketing, branding and positioning. She also shares her quirky and contrarian marketing thoughts and ideas. She also worked on brands like Unilever, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, Rastamji, Finance.com, etc. She was speaker on guerrilla marketing in year 2019. Her 13 year of experience has made her marketing generalist and marketing specialist. And today she is with us for our today's session to talk with us to celebrate change. Ma'am was also two times TEDx speaker last year. So girls, share your gratitude towards ma'am by your emojis. Thank you girls. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You all heard Priyanka give you my intro. I'll give a very brief thing. Otherwise, I just want this to be a very interactive session because only then will something valuable come out of it. So, as Priyanka said, I have been a marketer for the last almost 14 years. I did my BMS first, and that was also, it had a specialization of marketing. After that, I did my MBA in marketing, and then I started working. So for the first half of my career, I was working for another company. So I first worked with Godrej, then I was working with a bathroom products distributor. So I was an employee. And after, in the second half of my career, I started working for myself. I became an independent marketing consultant. So there are some three learnings that I want to share with you girls today, because I feel those learnings have worked very well for me in both the aspects of my career, when I was an employee and when I was self employed. So, the first and the most important learning I want you all to take away from here is that please ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can, ask always to whoever you're working with. Now, see, all of you are studying right now, but sooner or later, you all are going to start working somewhere. So, when you do, you will have meetings, you will have, say, you're sitting with your colleagues and you're all discussing some project or some task at hand. Always ask questions and don't shy away from asking questions just because the opposite person is your boss or it's your super boss or even the head of the organization. That does not matter, because I'll tell you what, most of the times in my experience, people keep quiet in meetings. They don't speak because they're like, okay, the boss has spoken, so then I don't need to ask questions. And if I ask, what if the boss does not like it, or what if it just increases my work? Like, I ask a question, they give an answer, and they say, fine, you go ahead and you do it then. It's better I don't ask. So if you are one of the rare ones asking a question, you will stand out. The senior management, your boss, everyone, they will start noticing you in a positive way, that this person is always very interested in the work at hand, because it shows. If you're not interested in something, you're not going to bother asking questions. Even in class, like when you're in college, Only if you like the subject or if you found the topic chapter interesting, you are going to pay attention, and hence you will have questions to ask, right? So when you do the same thing at work, it shows your interest in the job at hand, it shows your motivation, and that's a very good thing to tell people. Also, don't take anything without questioning it. So if somebody tells you that, do this, don't just blindly follow those instructions. Try and understand the logic behind why you're being told to do something. Because if you are convinced without understanding the logic, and this applies not just to work, this applies to your personal life also, always ask for the logic behind something or the reason behind something. Then you'll be able to do it from straight from the heart. You'll be able to do justice to what you are doing. And I'll tell you, like, the best thing is, I have been asking questions all my life. My school teachers used to complain to my mom during open house, "He बहुत questions पूछती है class में." They used to get irritated, कि how many questions is she asking? Then when I joined Godrej, I had a lot of these management trainees with me, and it was a joke. They used to call me the queen of questions. So I'm not saying ask as many questions as I ask, but at least, consciously, at least try asking one question per meeting, or even when at college, when you're sitting with your group and you all are working on something together, ask questions. Now, when I say ask questions, you are not supposed to ask silly questions or questions whose answers you will find online or anywhere else easily. Ask a question which is going to help the discussion move forward, or which is going to help clarify your doubts. And my personal favorites, there are four types of questions which I always ask, and I feel everyone can use those. The first is asking the why for anything, personal life, professional life, anywhere. Just ask, why are we doing this, or why is this expected of us? Then you have to ask, why not? Why not is very, very important. Why not this and why not that? The third is to ask, what if? Because that will start, it'll just create this whole, it'll open the discussion up. When you say, what if we did this? What if we did that? It'll get you to start thinking creatively. So ask the what if, and finally ask the how. Either one of these four, and I think you will be coming up with very intelligent questions, and it will show that you're very knowledgeable, and you have an opinion of your own. The second learning that I want to share is something that my first boss in my career, he used to tell me. He always said, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. Now, I never understood what he meant when I first joined the company. So when I was new, I would just go to him and keep saying, "Ki, Arey, so this is the problem. Now I don't know what to do." Or I told so and so something and this person is not responding. Now again, I don't know what to do. Please tell me what to do. And this, so initially, because I was new, my boss used to directly tell me that, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I would just go ahead and execute whatever he had told me. But after some months, he told me, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. So, first, my initial reaction was like, if I had the solution, why would I come to you? What is the point in telling me this sentence? But then I understood what he meant is that anytime you have a problem, first you sit back and think about it, figure out if there is any possible solution for it. It need not be a fully detailed solution. It can be even a partial solution or like a half baked idea that you have, but at least have some alternatives in your hand. Because if somebody is telling you, don't come empty handed to me, this will force you to start thinking hard, to think creatively about the problem in your hand. You will be forced to look at that problem from all possible angles, and then you'll maybe spot something which you didn't spot earlier. And this is an approach to problem solving that will work well for any problem in life, be it your personal life or your career when you start working later. I tell you, the other thing is that when you go to somebody with a problem and you say, "Arey yaar, I'm having so many problems, please help me," you are making that person work extra hard. That opposite person also has enough problems in their life, no? Why should they sit and spend time on your problems, thinking of solutions for you? Why are you making them do the hard work? Do the hard work yourself. You go to them with, "I have this problem. I think option 1, 2, and 3 may help solve it. I'm not sure. Either help me pick one of the 3 options, or you can tell them that, can you help me with maybe say part 1 of solution 2, because that's something I'm stuck at. I don't know how to proceed." Now, if you go to somebody like this, they will be more than happy to help you. So I strongly believe, and this has worked very well for me throughout my career, it shows people that you are not lazy. You have a problem. And the other thing is, if you keep going to someone with a problem and telling them, "Please solve it for me," they'll be like, "If I only have to solve all your problems, why do I need you? I can do the work myself, no?" So then why, you can go home. So don't let that happen. Whenever you start working, anytime you have a problem, first sit, think of options, possible solutions, even if they are silly solutions, but just have some solutions with you, and then go to the other person. And the last learning that has really worked for me is, try an idea before you discard it. Any thought, any idea that you have, don't give up on it, or don't hesitate to try it because you feel you don't have enough knowledge right now, or that you don't have the money to try that idea. You never know when an idea will lead to a completely different path for you. Now, I'll give you my own example. When I decided I wanted to become a consultant and I didn't want to work for an organization as a full-time employee, I thought I should have a blog or a website of my own, because that's where I can put down my thoughts, my ideas. I can use it as a portfolio to show clients that, this is the kind of work I can do for you. So, but the problem was, I had no technical background. I had zero web designing knowledge. So I was like, how am I supposed to design a website? But I thought, let me try, because I Googled then and I saw that WordPress gives you the option to create a free website. So I created the free website using Google, YouTube. I learned from there, and WordPress is fairly easy. So it was okay. I managed to create my free site and I used it for 6 months. I kept writing on the website. I started getting comfortable with creating a site, with blogging, and I saw some amount of interest from people who were reading my articles. So only after those 6 months, when I was fairly confident that, yeah, this is going to work, I decided to upgrade to a paid version. And the current website that I have, that's also a site that I have made myself. It may not be outstanding, it may not be as beautiful as what a proper web designer will make, but I am quite happy with it, and it does the job for me. And it just gives me that self confidence that, yeah, I made a website completely from scratch. And reading always helps. YouTube helps, tutorials. You have a lot of these options. So we are lucky that we live in times where we have so many free options available. If a free alternative is not there, you have the option to do a free trial. So any idea that you have, first look for a free option for it, so that you can test that idea. If it has merit, then maybe in future when you have money, you can upgrade to a paid version. But don't discard any idea, because I'll tell you, my website, I when I started the website, I never ever imagined that it will ultimately end up taking me to Unilever. It was one of my dream companies I wanted to work with, and I got a chance to consult with them not once but twice. And this happened because at like 3 or 4 years back, I started that website and one thing led to another, and I ended up here. It also helped me tick off an item on my bucket list, which was to be on TED.com. Again, that happened not once but twice. So had I just given up on the idea, thinking that no, I don't know how to design a website, or I don't have the money to spend on making the website or hiring somebody, to make it for me, I don't think I would have reached this stage, or I would have got these opportunities. So I'll just recap three of these learnings for me. From my life, the first one is always ask questions, and smart questions, just to show that you are aware, you are intelligent, and you have an opinion. The second is always don't go to anybody with a problem. Carry solutions with you when you approach someone with a problem. And the third is don't discard any idea without trying it first. That is it. Now I have given you an idea about what I have learned. I would love to now just have a discussion with you on any question that you have, anywhere I can help you with.
Yes. How many of you are having questions? Start with Babisha. Okay, Babisha, please unmute yourself and ask question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Babisha.
Hi, ma'am. My question is, what is the biggest risk that you have taken in your experience?
The biggest risk I took was leaving a full-time job. See, that having a full-time job gives you that security, right? Like every month you're getting a salary. You know that whether this month you've worked 100% or you've worked 80% of your ability, you are still going to get that salary. But so when you start out on your own, or when you become a consultant, there is no guarantee that you are going to get work. You have to keep looking for projects. You have to keep meeting a lot of people or approaching people. Even if you don't meet them face to face, you'll approach them on LinkedIn, or you hear of somebody in your network who's looking for some help with marketing. So then you go and you have to try and speak with them. And every single time you have to keep convincing them that please give me a chance. I am good. Only if you work with me, you will know that yes, I can do a job, I can do this job well. So the biggest risk was, yes, trying out my hand at consulting, which was, I'm glad it turned out good. I got the chance, but it was a little slow to start off with. It took me time to get to my first good client.
But ma'am, still you are young.
No, I'm not that young. I'm quite old, so I'm like 36. So it's not young, but okay, I tried it late. So I gave up let's say about 27. When I was 27, 28, I decided that I wanted to stop working full time, but I didn't take the plunge till about four years ago.
So I'll give this opportunity to Madhumita. Please grab this opportunity.
Yes, ma'am, I'm Madhumita.
Madhumita.
Yes, and my question to you is, should we focus only on our dreams and passions, or do you think that we should also try different paths to give our parents financial support?
I'll tell you what, it depends on your situation. Like right now, if your parents need that help, try going through, take up a career option where there is some amount of financial security, and where you get to earn some basic initial amount of money. Once you have that base level, once you create that foundation of money, you will be able to. And the most important thing I forgot to mention, you must invest. Each and every one of you, even if you have your first paycheck is say 500 rupees, keep some money aside and slowly start investing. You can do a very basic thing like a mutual fund also, but investments help. Because if you are investing, so let's say you started working and for the first 2 years you are in a job that you don't enjoy too much, but you are taking because you need the money. Okay, now in those 2 years, suppose you've collected, let's, as an example, at the end of 2 years you have 10,000 rupees with you. Now, out of those 10,000, you must have spent all the money, but if you have some amount left, you invest that amount, it will grow to a little more, and side by side, while you're working in a field which you're not very, very excited about, try doing something that you are excited about. So when I was working full time when I started my blog. I had this in my head that I wanted to be a consultant. I wanted to work for myself, but I didn't have the courage to take that step instantly. So what I did is, while I was doing the full-time job, I side by side started my blog, and something that I could do over the weekends and all. I kind of kept the money coming in from the full-time job and tried my hand here, and then slowly, I collected enough money. I had some investments, and that helped the money grow, and I managed to take the step. So you should follow your passion ultimately, but initially collect money through the, if your passion is not going to pay you, my point is that if your passion is paying you, if it's in a field where there is enough money even for a new joinee, then just go ahead with your passion.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer.
Most welcome.
Okay, so I would like to give next opportunity to Shraddha. Yes, Shraddha, unmute yourself and ask your question.
I can't see her.
Ma'am, I think she have texted in chat box also.
Acha, okay, I haven't read.
Ma'am.
Okay. Hi, Shraddha.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, because of COVID pandemic, millions of people had become jobless. Lakhs of companies has been closed. What is your point of view on this situation, and what advice would you like to give to all of those who want to come back again?
Try the consulting route, because I tell you what, so I was doing for my TED talk, my first TED talk was on this topic only, that there are some benefits to this new normal after the pandemic. Everyone talks about job losses, but what people don't realize is that this job loss has given you a chance to do something that you had always wanted to do, but you couldn't. So you are now, if you're forced, so I've read cases of couples who said that they were not in India, but they were in the US. Now that couple, they had this, both of them were working, both of them lost their job in the pandemic, but because their back was pressed against the wall, they had no option but to figure out something. They started doing small things, like maybe I think the lady had some hobby of making some jewelry at home. That was her hobby, that was her interest. She started making that and posting it online, and slowly that started working for her. And she realized that I'm happier doing this. Like, I tell you, my best friend right now, she's working full time, but the pandemic has given her the chance to start doing something like art and craft. She likes converting old things into new, giving it an arty makeover. And she's now trying her hand at selling that, and she's learning so many new things, and that has brought excitement to her job also. So my thing is, people have lost jobs, but the only option is right now, try the gig economy. Gig economy is where freelancers are welcome. So there are websites like Fiverr, there is Upwork, and there are so many websites where anyone can freelance. You can get paid by the hour, and till you continue your job hunt, but till you get the job, use this as a way to get some income.
Okay. So,
and a lot of companies are hiring gig workers, because see, they don't have the budgets right now to hire full-time employees. So then they just hire a gig worker ki abhi this is a work for say 10 days hai ya 1 month ka work hai, so I'll just get it done by somebody who's freelancing instead of hiring someone full-time. So there are companies looking for it, there are opportunities.
so we are running short of time. So last question of the day, and I'm so confused now also to whom I must give this opportunity. Ma'am, I will just ask you, please choose yourself.
I don't know, give me, please ask.
Ma'am, ma'am, I would like to ask. Ma'am, wait, I'm also posting the question.
Okay.
Ma'am, which struggle do you think hardest for you, and what you learned from that, and how you overcome that?
The hardest struggle for me. I think what I said earlier, the decision to give up my full-time job, that was a bit of a struggle. Like it was one of the toughest decisions. Getting a job was not very difficult for me. I don't know, it, as Dia Mirza also said, it was actually serendipitous for me. I was not even there was a campus placement, and I was so companies came to the campus and they would do the recruitment, and I was not even put down on the list of interviews for that day. But a friend of mine, he was in the placement committee, and he said, "You want to try for this company?" I said, "Yeah, let me try. If they're open to interviewing me without my name being on the list, I don't mind trying." And that's how I got the interview and I got the job. So there was no struggle. But the struggle happened when I had to decide that yes, I need to leave my job. I want to try something of my own. That was like the biggest struggle, and it was difficult, but one step at a time, I think. I tried, I took baby steps, and I didn't give up the job fully. And then finally, I let go of the job. So it's like how you enter the swimming pool, you're wearing the float, and you're at the shallow end. You slowly learn, you get used to the water, and then you maybe remove the float. Then you're still in the shallow pool, and then afterwards, finally, when you get some confidence that no, I will be able to survive, you then go ahead and enter the deep end without the float. So that was the way it was. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of questions now.
Okay.
Divya has asked a question, but
Okay.
I can see, but there are other questions. Now, how am I supposed to answer these questions?
Okay. So it's quite difficult now.
Okay, pick one randomly, one last question, and then we can wrap up.
Okay. So Divya, we are having last 5 minutes with us, and we have to wrap up.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Divya.
Hello, ma'am. My question is how to attract the people for buying our product, and how to increase our marketing ratio.
The best thing is be different. Don't go with the same old things that everyone else is doing. And don't be satisfied with, acha, if everyone is giving a leaflet, I'll also give a leaflet. If everyone is doing a radio ad, I'll also do a radio ad. Do a radio ad. If you have the budget to do a radio ad, you do a radio ad. But in that, if everyone is using a jingle, you don't use a jingle. Maybe you use something else, like, you do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And always do the opposite of what the majority of the others are doing. It'll help you stand out, and that's the best thing. And sometimes now you should just try low cost items first. Like I was telling, I had put up in one of my talks, I had given this idea that a lot of companies do this, that they give all their sales guys and their staff company t-shirts with the company logo. Instead of that, if you are just starting out, you make a cape. You've seen the cape that Harry Potter wears? So it's nothing, no? It's like a Superman car. You just tie it here and piche it's a long kapda. So you have that, you have your logo on it, and you give a cape to people who are working with you. Or if you don't have anyone working with you and you're doing it independently, if you are walking in a crowded area, walk with a cape. 100% people will notice you. Ki, what is this person wearing? And they'll notice your brand name. And the cost is not so much, because the cost of a t-shirt and a cost of a cape, I think, will be almost the same. So always try and think of, especially when you're starting out, just think of the opposite of what everyone. If everyone is creating like large hoardings, you create a very tiny one, like go mini. Something like that, do the opposite of what is expected and you should be okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And we have less time, so I think ma'am's advices and suggestion would have satisfied you And now after listening, ma'am, I'm inspired, and I think in my future I'll be successful. So yes, and now I would like to end this session.
By the way, thank you so much, everybody. I
Thank you
loved
so much to
interacting
you,
with
ma'am.
guys.
You have
Thank you
given
so much.
your valuable time to
I
us from your busy schedule.
I hope you guys got something of value from this. If anything can help you all, I'll be happy.
Yeah.